Hey Maddie, what you doing?
I'm planting corn.
You're planting corn?
Mm-hmm.
Are you watering it?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Welcome to Unseen Blessings. My name is Susan. I'm so happy to be here with you today. That video is my daughter Madeline, and talking was my husband Jason. That was when we planted our garden. Oh gosh, it was about 5 years ago in Utah when we lived there. We leased the land next to us and was able to plant our garden there. It was so much fun. I learned a few lessons I wanted to share with you today, those lessons. So, me and my whole family, we went outside and we planted our garden. That one that I showed you was the second year and it was smaller. But the first year, the year previous, oh, the garden was huge. We planted everything from broccoli to onions to potatoes. The last thing we planted was our corn. We had a huge area set aside just for our corn. It was so much fun to be with everyone. So we dug the rows, and the kids bent over and they planted one seed after another after another. I think we had about 18 rows of corn, and they were long, long rows too. And we dug ditches so that we could flood the corn and get it nice and wet because Utah, of course, is a desert. And so we needed to put lots of water so the corn would grow up high. The first couple of days, there was nothing. We just watered. It felt like it was just the dirt. But eventually, we had a little baby corns that grew up. And that was amazing to see them grow and grow. And the higher they grew, the more we had to water and weed. And eventually, we had corn that was ready to be harvested. But I'll tell you, it took a long time for the corn to grow, and there was a lot that we had to do in order for the corn to grow. We had to get out there every single day and make sure the corn wasn't wilty. We had to weed, we had to put a lot of water down, we had to make sure that the corn was growing well. If there was a problem, we would address it immediately. And then at the end, at the right time, when the corn was just perfect, we were able to pick the corn, bring it inside, take the husk off, and there was the beautiful fruit of our labors. I'll tell you that we could not enjoy that wonderful corn if we had not put the time and effort into that. In Ether chapter 12, verse 4, it says, "Wherefore, whoso believeth in God might with surety hope for a better world, yea, even a place at the right hand of God, which hope cometh of faith, maketh an anchor to the souls of men, which would make them sure and steadfast, always abounding unto good works, and being led to glorify God." I love that scripture. It talks about hope and how we can have a hope for something better. It feels like sometimes in life, if things aren't going well, we want to change those things. And the first thing that we need to have is hope that we can do it, that we can change from how we are to who we want to become someday. I love this video of darts, playing darts. Imagine that you are in the middle of the dartboard. That's who you are right now. And who you want to become, let's say, is the last circle around the dartboard. So, let's say you want to run a 5K. And so, today, oh man, I can barely walk around the block. But I can see myself, I can envision myself running a 5K. So with each of those goals, each of those rings, there needs to be a certain goal to achieve. Then when you achieve those goals, you go on to the next one and next one. And if you notice in the video that each of those steps was small enough to accomplish. So with anything, let's say again the 5K, first day is to walk around the block. Second day is to walk around the block, maybe run for 5 minutes. Then you just keep going, and eventually you get the goal. And then the next goal is a little higher up. But while you're doing that, of course, you envision the entire goal. You see how you are. You envision yourself crossing the finish line, and that helps with the momentum. In the October 1999 General Conference, in the high praise of good things to come, he said, "Don't give up. Don't you quit. You keep walking. You keep trying. There's help and happiness ahead. It will be all right in the end. Trust God and believe in good things to come." Once we envision who we want to be or what we want to accomplish, then the momentum starts. We just have to start, and then we'll accomplish the first ring around the dartboard, and then the second one. All the while having the vision of who we are, envisioning crossing that race, the finish line, and eventually we'll get to there, we'll accomplish our goal. I love this quote from Tony Robbins. It says, "People who succeed have momentum. The more they succeed, the more they want to succeed, and the more they find a way to succeed." That's the key, is to want it. Is to want it so bad that you're willing to envision yourself. You're willing to set small goals to achieve those so that you can eventually obtain the greatest goal that you have in mind. Always remembering who you want to be or the goal that you want to accomplish. And then work hard, never give up. There was a quote that I read that said, "Time passes anyway. You won't accomplish those things that you don't put your mind towards. Put your mind toward it, and then we can accomplish wonderful things in this life."